What is our plan in Venezuela?
The humanitarian crisis is real. He conducted a sham election, then declared himself president, and we simply have said we're not going to recognize that. Trish, today we tried to deliver humanitarian assistance from Colombia, from the United States and Colombia, into Venezuela, and the Venezuelan military, under the direction of Mr. Maduro, stopped that. This is horrific stuff.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, I know some of these shots will indicate it using trucks or boxcars or anything they can. They have blocked major bridges and roads from accepting any outside aid and medicine that would be coming from the United States and a host of other countries that want to help the Venezuelan people out. The military is doing that, the same military that is loyal, obviously, to Nicolas Maduro, the present president, and was not giving up the reins of government anytime soon, or so it would appear. Someone else knows better, the Director of Policy Planning for the State Department, Kiron Skinner. Kiron, good to have you back.
Good to be with you, Neil. The first time since I joined the Trump administration.
Well, congratulations for that. And I'm wondering, how do you handle this? What do we do if the government is actually forcibly preventing aid, humanitarian aid, basic stuff like foods and medicine, from getting into Venezuela?
Yes, Neil, it's a horrific situation that Maduro and his security forces are blocking medicine, foods, nutritional supplements, and a whole range of products that are needed by thousands of people in Venezuela. For example, he has made it impossible for the United States to bring the Global Fund HIV/AIDS medicine to 65,000 Venezuelans who need it to live daily. What we do, to speak to your question on this matter, I think is to continue the whole of government effort in the United States, which is include the pre-positioning of these medicines and other humanitarian assistance products through USAID, which has been incredibly aggressive. Other parts of the U.S. government are involved as well. At the State Department where I work, our Assistant Secretary for the Western Hemisphere, Kim Breyer, has been incredibly thoughtful about advancing the cause of democracy and humanitarian aid in Venezuela. And then you just played a clip from Secretary Pompeo, who is just presenting an unvarnished view that this is a humanitarian crisis. But what he was really saying, and I deeply appreciate it as a new State Department employee, is saying that American values and American interests are intersecting in Venezuela. We support the interim Guaido regime because it's based on the rule of law.
But would that mean you would also insist, as Guaido has, that this aid be allowed in and that soldiers shouldn't block it? Because it sounds to me a push is going to come to shove. Something's going to have to break here.
Absolutely, but the way that I think that will happen is that we have not only our whole of government effort, which has been remarkable, but also the international community is growing in its resistance to what Maduro is doing.
The aid through is what I'm saying. In other words, I've seen the boxcars and trucks of major bridges and roads. Why couldn't soldiers or other on the outside, or UN peacekeepers from the outside, go to that point, get out of the trucks, walk it over? Is it your sense that their lives would be in jeopardy, that it would start a war?
I'm not sure that it would start a war, and if I can say that, but I do think that the sheer force of the international community will wear down the ability of Maduro and his forces to continue to blockade and to continue to vie for power. More than 40 countries have joined the United States in recognizing the interim regime. The United States, Germany, Sweden, the EU, Canada, and others have committed millions of dollars in humanitarian, civil society, and economic assistance, just waiting to help the country.
It can't get in there. You know?
But I think the sheer magnitude of the moral clarity with which the world is responding will make it difficult for this crisis to continue and for Maduro to exist. In fact, interim President Guaido has called for him to leave and begin the process of having a representative regime.
So all the moral guidance in the world isn't going to feed people or provide the medical attention they need. Do you fear that it will come to blows here?
I'm not prepared to say that, but I just disagree with you a little bit. I do think the fact that the international community, in a very concerted way, is looking at this conflict early on, in contrast to the way that Syria evolved, I think suggests that the outcome may be a lot faster and a lot better than what many are predicting right now.
We'll watch closely. Kiron, thank you for taking the time, and congratulations again to your appointment. That's a big deal and richly deserved. Kiron Skinner, the State Department Policy Planning Director.